In reviewing the currently available MyLab data, we find that secret research in alleged mind or behavior control experiments would not explain all MyLab experiences. There are also reports where human medical doctors or scientists dressed in white lab coats show a primary interest in gynecological examinations. Alien abductee Beth Collins included a hypnosis transcript of a kidnapping experience by uniformed humans in her book, Connections. That's from Chapter 5, the genetic aspect of MyLabs, in the very interesting book, MyLabs, Military Mind Control and Alien Abductions by Dr. Helmut Lammer and Marianne Lammer, sorry. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Stench of Truth. I want to remind you yet again of my radio show, also called The Stench of Truth, a radio on blogtalkradio.com. This coming week, my guest is going to be Xavier Hayes. He's the author of Suppressed History of America, on the Lewis and Clark expedition and all of the weird and anomalous things that were discovered during that, and also on the death of Meriwether Lewis, which he presents as a murder. So if you're interested in suppressed and hidden history of the Americas especially, and suppressed history in general, then I'm sure you'll enjoy the discussion that I'll have with Xavier Hayes this coming Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time on blogtalkradio.com/The Stench of Truth. I would encourage you also to check out my blogs and my Platform for the Future site for real economic solutions if the opportunity presents itself for any of these things to come to pass. Now, I want to comment on a few things that have been in the news and some issues of great import. And one of the things that is very interesting is that right now we have one of the worst months in recent memory economically, and we've had an increase in joblessness where the official unemployment rate, which we all recognize as a complete and utter fraud, has gone above 9%. And this illustrates, from time to time, the real news has to make it through the firewalls of mainstream media and be presented to you in some fashion, because it can't all be thrown under the rug continuously every fucking day. And this illustrates to you exactly what the real state of affairs is, and that is that there is no such thing as a recovery. There never was. The entire thing is a fucking fraud. And what we are in right now is a depression. We are not in a recession. And it's about to get worse. Now, I'm sure you've seen also in the news that you have Moody's and other rating agencies who are downgrading various, not only corporations and banks or talking about it, but you have Moody's threatening to downgrade the United States credit rating. Now, I have this to say to Moody's, okay? Fuck you! You fucking piece of shit, fucking fraud motherfuckers! You should be put on fucking trial, and you should be in fucking jail. Every one of you motherfuckers at Moody's and all you other fucking credit agencies. You credit reporting motherfucking liars, because you're the cocksuckers who gave all of that fucking shit that Wall Street sold in their credit default swaps and their CDOs and all the other bullshit fucking crap that they came up with. You gave them all AAA fucking ratings for garbage and fucking junk. So I don't want to hear you talk about downgrading anybody, because you motherfuckers need to be thrown in the fucking prison. Because whatever you say is fucking worthless. Now I wanted to briefly comment on John Edwards, facing charges for misuse of campaign funds and covering up his affair. The only reason John Edwards is being targeted in this way is because he obviously pissed somebody off. If you remember, in the last campaign that he ran for office, he was the only candidate who showed any kind of progressive tendencies and any kind of will, even if it was just a smidgen, of going against the corporate establishment in this country. And they always get you in the end. So they hound him until they get him. I'm not making moral judgments here. That's for other people to make. And if it's against the law, it's against the law. But the fact of the matter is that the same kind of activities go on with candidates, whether Republican or Democrat, as long as they're in the pockets of Wall Street and the corporations, they're fine. It doesn't matter what the fuck they do. They could murder children on national fucking TV, and there would be people coming out the next fucking day supporting them and saying how they were just misunderstood. So, you need to look at this John Edwards thing in context and realize that someone's out to get him. And they never let you alone until they fucking bury you. So, that's the reason you have that. I see also today that we've had some earthquakes today, and this corresponds with a very large coronal mass ejection that happened a few days ago, which expected to hit Earth today, June 4th, and it seems like we have had some instability as a result of this. And this, goes to the argument of man-made earthquakes and man-made tornadoes and all this other stuff that we're talking about with HARP and all this other thing like this. And we're ignoring one of the biggest driving forces, well, not one of the biggest, the incredibly biggest driving force for weather and seismic activity is a massive amount of influx of energy from the sun. There's a reason why the ancients worshipped the sun. Because it literally is the life of this planet. And it can also be the death of this planet. Or at least the death of the people on it. Now, that is not to say that there are not technologies out there, scalar weaponry, HARP, all these other things that people talk about, Tesla technology and other fashions, that could be used for weather warfare. I do not doubt that weather warfare is a real possibility. And I do not doubt that there may be some mechanism by which earthquakes can be created or at least triggered where there is a propensity for such to go on, or even made worse by the addition of some sort of energy. But I think that on the whole, one has to scale back one's conspiracy theories when it comes to these activities and realize that we have a tremendous driver in the sun and a tremendous amount of energy that is injected into this system by the sun, and it cannot be ignored and it cannot be downplayed. So that needs to be your first focus when it comes to looking at where these things come from. Now, if you don't find a correlation there, then you can start talking about scalar weapons and Tesla stuff and all these other things that I have no doubt exist and may be used from time to time. Yemen is continuing to downgrade, Syria as well, and we are seeing a little bit of stirring, which probably will amount to nothing in opposition to our continued involvement in Libya, which now has helicopter gunships going in there and massacring people. This is all, I might remind you, humanitarian, of course. And supposedly the new head of Al-Qaeda, in the wake of the fake killing of the fake Osama bin Laden, has also been killed in Pakistan. So I don't know what this portends, but I'm going to tell you something right now. Because of the instability that supposedly is given to the fictitious organization of Al-Qaeda and the terrorists that are affiliated with that fictitious, non-existent organization, there has to be a complete shift in this terrorist response attitude of the military-industrial complex worked out through the United States by way of NATO. And there needs to be a new, very solid, concrete enemy. And that may indicate that there will be some kind of new 9/11 style event in this country, because they're running out of figureheads in the fake, fictitious Al-Qaeda organization. You know, it just goes to show you the state of affairs in this country. When anybody talks about politics, okay, you had this whole business with Weiner and his Weiner. It's a big joke. He puts his picture of him in boxer shorts with a heart on, okay, on Twitter. And supposedly somebody hacked into his account and all this other kind of stuff. It's made into a big issue. Why aren't you talking about the fucking things that matter? Look at Newt Gingrich. The vast majority of the commentary on Newt Gingrich involves his extramarital affairs and his numerous marriages and divorces. Who gives a shit? If you want to talk about Newt Gingrich, talk about what a dick he is when it comes to fucking policy. And how much he's a corporate fucking lapdog. And how much he doesn't give a shit about the people of this fucking country, as long as he gets his fucking graft. That's his history. That's his politics. I don't give a shit if he was married 70 fucking times. It doesn't have a fucking thing to do with how he relates to politics. So if you want to talk about politics, talk about his shitty fucking economic record and his shitty fucking politics record. The same thing goes for Weiner's Weiner. What does that have to do with any fucking thing? Now, I don't know if he was grandstanding at all, but this is the guy that came out so aggressively in his stance in support of the 9/11 First Responders Bill when it was initially voted down by the Democrats because they made it a 2/3 vote thing, which is bullshit anyway. Same thing the Democrats or the Republicans did this last time when they had a vote on raising the debt ceiling. It required a 2/3. And they do all this stuff just for bullshit reasons, because it furthers the political show. So like I said, I don't know whether Weiner was serious or whether he was just grandstanding when he did that. But it certainly seems to me that if he has one spark of an iota of any kind of resistance to corporate tyranny and corporate domination of this country, and one spark of one little sliver of fucking heart in him to care for 9/11 first responders and give them everything that they deserve in the wake of 9/11, then obviously he's going to be a target. So everybody's going to make a big deal out of this, while this entire economy is plunging into the fucking abyss. There are a lot other more important things that need to be talked about. And yet this is what you get in this country. Because that's what it's come to. It's come to a media sideshow. A freak show. We're a freak show in the United States. We're a freak show because we have the strong man who goes and busts and kills people. Okay? And we got the, the fat lady and the half man, half woman. We got all the freaks here. It's a freak show. That's what we've become, a freak show. And we can't even talk about real issues, can't even address real things. Well, of course, everything you're being told, everything in the media, it's all a sham, it's all a joke, it's all diversionary, it's all propaganda, it's all lies, it's all fucking stupid. Every bit of it. Because there's not a single conversation about anything of any importance to anybody. It's all fluff and nonsense. Anyway, that's my 2 cents for today. Thank you. Good evening.